Hello and welcome to my Dragon Ball Super Episode 86 review. The title of this episode is Fist Cross for the first time Android 17 versus Son Goku. On their way to the island where number 17 is working, then they explain that since the conclusion of the Cell Games, number 17 has started a family and gotten far stronger. Then they also reveals that Kid Buu has reincarnated as a young Earthling with massive fighting potential and asks Goku to train him when he is old enough. They reach the island and Goku arrives just in time to witness 17 single-handedly defeat a group of armed poachers. As they introduce themselves to each other, a large army of poachers arrives and Goku and 17 team up to subdue them all. Afterwards, 17 explains that the poachers are after the last Minotaurs in order to steal its rare and valuable horns. The two decide to have a sparring match. Number 17 evenly matches Super Saiyan Goku, forcing him to turn Super Saiyan Blue. Goku launches a Kamehameha wave at 17, who easily deflects it with an energy shield. The two go toe to toe for a little while until 17 ends the match in order to avoid catching the island in the crossfire. Afterwards, Goku attempts to convince him to join the Tournament of Power, but 17 is uninterested. He remains indifferent even when Goku accidentally reveals that the losing universes will be destroyed. Meanwhile, alien poachers arrive at the Earth and set their sights on the Minotaurs. The Minotaurus. So my thoughts on this episode? Well, first, let us discuss what I like about this chapter. First things first is the Kami's lookout. Surprisingly, we learned that Dende can actually navigate the lookout by placing his hand on the platform and begins to chant in Namekian language. Then we saw the Nyoibo, also known as the power pole in English, retracts back to the lookout and it began moving to the direction where Android 17 is located. I think that was really neat and fascinating to learn that the lookout can, basically travel anywhere around the globe. It was always stuck above Corrin's tower the whole time since the early Dragon Ball series. And then the second part I want to mention is the 17's character development. We find out that 17 had made a big change in his character after Cell absorbed him. Not only that he is concerned with the creatures or animals, but also the poachers too. Um, we saw this scene that he tells Goku not to hurt or kill any one of them, no matter how many times they keep coming back to the island, just to apprehend the Minotaurus horn. Since the horn costs like a big fortune for them. Another one that I wanted to add is 17. He doesn't show any interest in money, unlike 18. He is more of a down to earth kind of guy who is conservative and, he's pretty much satisfied with his life, having a job, a wife, and kids. Yeah, his job is stable, so what else does he want from life? And then the third part, getting to know more on Android 17's life. I wish they could have stretched out 17's story. Like, how he met the lady of his life, what influenced him to become a park ranger? Does it have to do with Android 16's love of nature that got him motivated, and inspired to become a park ranger and all that jazz? Then there is this scene where 17 showed a photo of his family to Goku, which I'm dying to see how his family and children would look like. Also, I would like to add 17's appearance where he's wearing a shirt with an MIR imprinted on it. I don't know what it stands for. Maybe it's Marshall Island Ranger, perhaps? I don't know. I'm just making it all up. And then finally, the best part of this episode is the fighting choreograph. First time seeing their fight, I thought it wasn't that great as I thought it would be. But the second time around, I watched over their sparring match again. I realized all the details, that the visuals in this choreograph was surprisingly stunning and impressive. I got more excited when 17's, simply dodges Goku's fist and see it as an opening and lands a kick right at him. Then we get this view where we see the big sunset while they are, clashing with their auras, they were igniting or something. Sometimes the effect of the aura looks mistakenly like two sperms are juking it out. Then we see 17 launches a punch right at Goku's stomach as, 17 kept on launching Goku towards to the clouds, which I love how it was visually presented. And that's all the good things I can say about in this episode. Now let's move on to the bad things. Yes, the bad things. Some are minor and some are, well, it does kind of hurt. Just let me expound it for you. So the first thing I want to say is the lack of explanations, or I would say um, it's Dragon Ball logic. Yeah, if you know what I'm trying to say here, it's like there are so many things that I want to point out in this episode that needed some further explanations and enlightenment. Like, how did Dende learn that technique to move the lookout? Since Kami was not able to practice the technique in the early Dragon Ball series, and then what made 17 get so strong? Since he has been facing poachers very often to protect the animals, he didn't mention that he was facing uh, a very life-threatening villain or people from, I mean, these aliens from other galaxies or something. It didn't make sense to me. If you look at this way in a hypothetical viewpoint, the only way for 17 to get that much strength and power if he was able to encounter, a powerful being that is like I said, a life threatening. But then again, if that was the case, then they and then the Z fighters should have sensed the enemy's key sooner. Now I know that 17 is an artificial android. I mean, I'm an artificial human, also known as android. So since their capabilities, they have this stamina which they that doesn't let their stamina down. Yeah, that's these are the things that I wanted to have some further explanations. And then the second part is the introducing Oob again. um then they open up the reincarnation character of Boo in this episode. There's nothing wrong about it. I'm okay that they brought it up, but the only thing weird in this moment is where Goku was in a state of shock at first, but later remembered it. I mean, remembered Boo. Did he open that up to Vegeta during the Champa arc? I believe it was episode 30. So the question is, why would he be so surprised about it? Huh. And then the third thing, Beerus eating and taking a dose of. I find this segment very unnecessary. It's like toy forced to add this quick scenery about Beerus' gluttony behavior. The segment felt really out of place. Honestly, it's ruining the pacing of Goku and 17's moments together. And then they just, after their sparring match, they were having a a bonding moment together and having a fireplace or something. And then they just Toy decided to place this Beerus eating, taking a dolls off. I find that very stupid and clumsy. Sorry about that, but yeah, it was very unnecessary for me. And lastly, the flashbacks using the old Dragon Ball Z Kai footage again. There are several clips that were used in the old Kai footage in this episode, and it's still, I don't know, man. I still find it unpleasing to look at, and it's making the old footage looks garbage. Can't you see, Toy? I'm sorry, I just can't stand it. It's just garbage. They could have just, re-edit thing that looks modern to look at. Well, so overall, what I think about this episode, well, I really enjoyed this episode a lot. It is a one-side story comparing to the last episode, which I find it a bit messy because there were a lot of things going on that I really have to rewatch it all over again for a couple of times. This, however, is more enjoyable. The pacing was good. I love the interactions between Goku and 17. The fight choreograph was amazing. I'm I'm really happy that Toy did not mess up Goku and 17's first meeting, especially when Goku brought up Goten and Trunks to replace 17's work while he is in the if he while he yeah if he participates the tournament of power, and then 17 recalls Trunks but not Goten. So yeah, I'm pretty happy they didn't mess that up. So there you have it, guys. If you like my thoughts on this episode, then hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you want to hear more reviews on the Dragon Ball Super series, and let me know your thoughts on this episode by leaving a message on the comment section below. This is your boy Thunder Trunks. Have a good one.